Let me ask you something. Why do only 2% of people rise to greatness while the other 98% struggle, settle, and fade into the background? Is it intelligence, luck, connections? No. The difference is in the mindset. The 2% understand a simple truth. Success is created in the mind before it is seen in reality. They don't wait for opportunities. They assume success and embody it until the world catches up. The 98%, they wait for permission, doubt their potential, and let fear dictate their choices. The 2% wake up with purpose. They don't say, I hope today is good. They declare, today I create greatness. They don't react to life, they direct it. While the 98% see obstacles as reasons to quit, the 2% see them as tests, as stepping stones. The 98% dream. They move with faith, knowing that their imagination is more powerful than their current reality. When they fall, they get up faster. When they hear no, they turn it into a not yet. They don't just wish for success, they expect it. The reason only 2% of people succeed while 98% don't can be traced back to one fundamental difference: mindset. Success is never about where you start, how much money you have, or how lucky you are. It's about the way you think, believe, and perceive the world around you. The 2% understand that mindset is everything. They do not allow their current circumstances to dictate their future. Instead, they shape their future by controlling their thoughts. Most people in the 98% live in a reactive state. They look at their lives, their bank accounts, their failures, and their limitations, and they allow those external conditions to define what's possible for them. They think, I wasn't born into wealth, so I can't be rich. Or I don't have the right connections, so I'll never make it. They become prisoners of their own beliefs. What they fail to understand is that their external world is simply a reflection of their internal world. What they think about most, what they assume to be true, and what they deeply believe is exactly what manifests in their lives. The 2% operate differently. They refuse to let their past, their failures, or their current circumstances control their future. They understand that everything begins in the mind. They don't wait for proof before believing in their success. They believe first, and then they create the proof. They use their imagination as a tool for transformation, not just a place for wishful thinking. When they set a goal, they don't dwell on what they lack. They focus on who they must become to achieve it. They adopt the mindset of already being successful, and by doing so, they shift their energy, their actions, and ultimately their reality. Neville Goddard, one of the greatest teachers of the power of imagination, emphasized that our assumptions create our world. If a person assumes they are successful, even before the external world reflects it, they naturally begin to act, think, and carry themselves as if they already are. Over time, reality has no choice but to align with their inner world. On the other hand, the 98% assume failure, struggle, and mediocrity, and so their lives become a mirror of those assumptions. A person with a weak mindset sees obstacles as reasons to quit. The 98% hit a setback and say, maybe this isn't meant for me. The 2% see the same setback and say, this is part of the process, I'll find a way. Their minds are wired to persist, to adapt, and to grow. They understand that every challenge is an opportunity to prove their commitment. The 98% complain about the circumstances, while the 2% create new circumstances. Another major difference is how each group responds to fear and doubt. The 98% allow fear to paralyze them. They fear failure, rejection, embarrassment, and stepping out of their comfort zone. Instead of facing those fears, they let them control their actions, or rather, their inaction. The 2% feel the same fear, but they refuse to let it dictate their choices. They act in spite of fear, knowing that growth happens on the other side of discomfort. The mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, negative thoughts, doubt, and limiting beliefs, you will grow a life full of obstacles and struggles. If you plant seeds of confidence, faith, and persistence, you will grow success. The 2% take control of their mental garden. They feed their minds with empowering beliefs, surround themselves with winners, and continuously reinforce the idea that success is inevitable. They do not entertain thoughts of failure because they know that thoughts become reality. At the end of the day, the only thing separating the 2% from the 98% is a decision. A decision to think differently. A decision to believe in possibilities instead of limitations. A decision to control their mindset rather than letting the world control it for them. The question is, what will you choose? Taking action is the defining trait that separates the 2% who succeed from the 98% who don't. The difference is simple. The 2% execute their plans, while the 98% wait for the perfect time, overthink, and let fear and doubt hold them back. Success doesn't come from ideas alone. It comes from acting on those ideas. The people who make it in life are not necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the ones with the best resources. They are simply the ones who take consistent action, even when they don't feel ready. The 98% often fall into the trap of waiting for the perfect conditions before they start. They say, I'll start my business when I have more money, or I'll chase my dreams when the time is right. But the truth is, there is never a perfect time. The people who succeed don't wait for everything to align. They start with what they have, where they are, and learn along the way. The 2% understand that progress is better than perfection. They are willing to take the first step, even if they don't have all the answers. They know that momentum builds from action, not from waiting. Overthinking is one of the biggest killers of success. The 98% spend too much time analyzing, planning, and second-guessing themselves. They get stuck in analysis paralysis, where they think about all the possible outcomes, all the things that could go wrong, and all the ways they might fail. This overthinking leads to inaction. They convince themselves that they need more research, more time, or more resources before they can begin. The 2%, on the other hand, trust that they will figure things out as they go. They understand that experience is the best teacher, and the only way to truly learn is by doing. Fear is another major factor that holds the 98% back from taking action. They fear failure, rejection, and stepping out of their comfort zones. They imagine the worst-case scenarios and let those fears stop them from even trying. But the 2% approach fear differently. They feel the fear, but they don't let it stop them. They take action despite their doubts, because they understand that fear is just an illusion. It only has power if you let it. They know that confidence doesn't come before action. It comes as a result of taking action. The more they act, the more they prove to themselves that they are capable. Another reason why the 98% fail to take action is that they seek instant gratification. They want quick results. And when they don't see immediate success, they lose motivation and quit. The 2% play the long game. They take action consistently, knowing that real success takes time. They don't expect overnight results. They trust the process and stay committed even when they don't see immediate progress. They understand that every small action compounds over time and leads to big results. One of the most powerful shifts the 2% make is adopting a bias toward action. They don't just consume information, they apply it. They don't just talk about their goals, they take real steps toward achieving them. The 98% often fall into the trap of feeling productive just because they are reading books, watching videos, or making plans. But learning without action is useless. The 2% take what they learn and implement it immediately. They understand that action is the bridge between knowledge and results. The reality is that the people who succeed in life are not the ones who never make mistakes. They are the ones who are willing to take action, fail, learn, and keep going. The 98% fear failure so much that they avoid taking risks. The 2% embrace failure as part of the journey. They know that every mistake brings them one step closer to success. They don't let setbacks define them. They use them as fuel to keep pushing forward. At the end of the day, the difference between success and failure comes down to this. Are you taking action or are you waiting? The people who win in life are those who move forward despite uncertainty. They don't let fear, doubt, or circumstances stop them. They take control of their destiny by taking action every single day. The question is, which side will you choose? Will you be part of the 98% who hesitate and overthink? Or will you join the 2% who take bold action and make their dreams a reality? Faith and fear are two opposing forces that shape the direction of a person's life. The 2% who succeed operate from a place of faith, while the 98% allow fear to control them. This is not about religious belief. It is about the deep, unwavering trust in oneself, in one's abilities, and in the certainty of success. The 2% do not need external proof before they believe in their vision. They believe first, and that belief creates the reality they desire. The 98%, on the other hand, need to see results before they believe, and as a result, they rarely take the necessary steps to achieve success. Fear is the number one killer of dreams. The 98% fear failure, judgment, rejection, and uncertainty. They hesitate to take risks because they worry about what others will think if they fail. They are so consumed by the fear of making mistakes that they remain stuck in the same place for years, unwilling to step outside their comfort zones. But the truth is, fear is an illusion. It only has power when you give it power. The 2% understand that fear is just a mental barrier, and the only way to break it is to move through it. They take action despite feeling afraid because they know that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. The 98% often let past failures define their future. They tried something once, it didn't work, and now they are afraid to try again. They let one bad experience convince them that success is impossible. But the 2% do not allow setbacks to shake their faith. They view failure as part of the process, a necessary step towards success. When they fall, they get back up. When they hear no, they interpret it as not yet. They understand that every great success story is built on a foundation of failures that were overcome with persistence and belief. Doubt is another major reason why the 98% fail to reach their potential. They doubt whether they are good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough to achieve their dreams. They look at successful people and assume they must have had some advantage, more talent, better connections, or greater resources. This self-doubt keeps them trapped in mediocrity. The 2%, however, refuse to entertain thoughts of doubt. They train their minds to focus only on what they want, not on what they fear. They understand that whatever they focus on expands, so they choose to focus on faith, belief, and the certainty of success. One of the biggest differences between the 2% and the 98% is how they perceive challenges. The 98% see obstacles as signs that they should quit. The moment things get difficult, they assume that success is not meant for them. But the 2% welcome challenges. They know that struggles are part of the journey, and they have faith that they can overcome anything that comes their way. They do not let temporary difficulties shake their long-term vision. Their faith is stronger than their fears, and because of this, they keep going when others would give up. The 98% look for external validation before they believe in themselves. They want others to approve of their dreams before they take action. They seek permission from family, friends, or society, and when they don't receive it, they stop pursuing their goals. The 2%, on the other hand, do not need anyone's approval. Their faith comes from within. They believe in themselves even when no one else does. They understand that the world will only believe in them after they prove themselves, but they don't wait for that validation. They create their own success through sheer belief and determination. Fear keeps people trapped in the life they have, while faith allows them to create the life they want. The 2% know that whatever they assume to be true in their minds will eventually manifest in their reality. They choose to assume success, abundance, and victory, and because of this, they attract those very things into their lives. The 98%, however, assume struggle, failure, and limitations, and that is exactly what they experience. At the end of the day, the battle between fear and faith determines who succeeds and who doesn't. Those who choose faith take risks, move forward, and create success, while those who choose fear hesitate, stay stuck, and never reach their full potential. The question is, which one will you choose? Will you allow fear to control your life, or will you step into faith and create the reality you desire? The answer to that question determines whether you belong to the 98% or the 2%. Discipline and consistency are the foundation of success. The 2% who achieve greatness understand that success is not a one-time event, but a result of daily habits and unwavering commitment. On the other hand, the 98% rely on motivation, which is fleeting. They start strong but lose focus when challenges arise or when they don't see immediate results. This difference is what ultimately separates those who succeed from those who don't. The 2% commit to showing up every single day, regardless of how they feel, while the 98% allow their emotions to dictate their actions. The biggest misconception about success is that it happens overnight. Many in the 98% see someone successful and assume they got lucky or had some special advantage. What they don't see are the years of disciplined effort, the sacrifices, and the relentless consistency that led to that success. The 2% don't wait to feel like it before they take action. They understand that emotions are temporary, but habits are what create long-term results. Even when they are tired, uninspired, or discouraged, they still put in the work. The 98%, however, only take action when they are motivated, which is why they never make real progress. Consistency is what separates winners from quitters. The 98% want instant gratification. They start a project, a business, or a fitness goal, but if they don't see immediate results, they give up. They jump from one thing to another, always looking for the next quick fix or shortcut. The 2% play the long game. They know that success compounds over time, just like small deposits in a bank account. Even when progress is slow, they trust the process and stay committed. They understand that big results come from small, consistent actions repeated over time. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't want to do it. The 98% are easily distracted. They let procrastination, entertainment, and temporary pleasures get in the way of their goals. They say they want success, but their actions show otherwise. They spend hours on social media, watching TV or engaging in activities that do not contribute to their growth. The 2% prioritize their time, they set clear goals, eliminate distractions, and make sacrifices to stay on track. They don't allow momentary pleasures to derail their long-term vision. The reason most people fail is that they rely on motivation, which is unreliable. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel excited and energized, other days you feel tired and unmotivated. The 98% quit when motivation disappears. The 2% understand that discipline is far more powerful than motivation. They create routines and habits that keep them moving forward even on days when they don't feel like it. They wake up early, stick to their schedules, and push through discomfort because they know that consistency leads to mastery. Another major difference between the 2% and the 98% is how they handle setbacks. The 98% start strong but give up after the first sign of failure. They expect instant success, and when things don't go as planned, they lose motivation and quit. The 2% expect challenges. They understand that setbacks are part of the journey, but instead of quitting, they adjust, learn, and keep going. Their discipline keeps them moving forward, even when progress is slow. They don't allow temporary failures to define them. They stay focused on the bigger picture. Successful people treat their goals like a non-negotiable commitment. The 98% treat their goals as optional. They work on them only when it's convenient. The 2% approach success with a different mindset. To them, their dreams are not just wishes, but obligations. They show up every day, whether they feel like it or not, because they understand that consistency is the key to achieving anything worthwhile. At the end of the day, the question is simple. Are you consistent, or are you just motivated? Do you push forward even when it's hard, or do you quit the moment things get tough? Success does not belong to the most talented or the most intelligent. It belongs to those who are disciplined and consistent. The 2% understand this, and that is why they succeed while the 98% don't. The choice is yours. Will you be part of the 98% who start and stop, or will you join the 2% who stay committed until they reach their goals? Taking responsibility instead of making excuses is one of the most defining traits of the 2% who succeed, while the 98% remain stuck because they blame external factors for their failures. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't is not intelligence, luck, or talent. It is the ability to take full ownership of their lives. The 2% understand that no one is coming to save them, no one owes them anything, and their success or failure is entirely in their own hands. Meanwhile, the 98% give away their power by blaming their circumstances, their past, other people, or bad luck for where they are in life. The problem with excuses is that they feel comfortable. They allow people to justify their lack of progress. It's easier to say, I didn't succeed because of my upbringing, or I'm not rich because the economy is bad, than to admit, I didn't put in the necessary effort, or I let fear hold me back. Excuses provide a false sense of relief because they remove the responsibility from the individual and place it onto something external. But the 2% refuse to live in this illusion. They know that as long as they blame something outside of themselves, they will never have control over their future. Instead of saying the system is unfair, they ask, how can I succeed despite the system? Instead of saying, I don't have the right connections, they ask, how can I create opportunities for myself? This shift in mindset changes everything. The 98% waste time complaining about things they cannot control, while the 2% focus on what they can control. The weather, the economy, politics, other people's opinions, these are all things outside of one's control. The 98% get caught up in these distractions, using them as reasons for why they can move forward. The 2% ignore the noise and focus on what they can do. They know that dwelling on external problems does nothing to change their reality, so they take action instead. This is why they get ahead while others remain stuck. A major reason the 98% struggle is that they are waiting for perfect conditions. They tell themselves, I'll start my business when the economy improves, or I'll get in shape when I have more time. But there will never be a perfect time. The 2% understand this and take action regardless of the circumstances. They know that success is built by doing the best they can with what they have right now. Instead of waiting for opportunities, they create them. Instead of complaining about obstacles, they find ways to overcome them. Another reason the 98% fail is that they allow their past to define them. They say, I didn't grow up in a wealthy family, or I wasn't given the same chances as others. While these factors may be true, they are not excuses to stay stuck. The 2% understand that their past does not determine their future, only their decisions do. Many successful people started with nothing, faced hardships, and still made it to the top. What separated them from the 98% was not their background, but their mindset. They refused to let their past be a limitation, and instead used it as motivation. Taking responsibility also means accepting failures without blaming others. The 98% look for someone to blame when things go wrong. If their business fails, they blame the market. If they don't get a promotion, they blame their boss. If their relationship falls apart, they blame their partner. The 2% take a different approach. They ask, what could I have done better? They analyze their mistakes, learn from them, and improve. They don't see failure as a reason to quit. They see it as feedback that helps them grow. Excuses keep people trapped in mediocrity. The 98% say they don't have enough time, yet they spend hours on social media. They say they don't have enough money, yet they waste money on things that don't serve their goals. They say they don't have opportunities, yet they never take risks or put themselves out there. The 2% don't let these excuses control them. They find solutions instead of problems. If they don't have time, they make time by cutting out distractions. If they don't have money, they find ways to earn more or start small. If they don't have opportunities, they network, learn new skills, and take action until they create opportunities for themselves. Another major difference is how each group handles criticism. The 98% take criticism personally and use it as an excuse to give up. They say, people don't believe in me, or they said I couldn't do it. The 2% expect criticism, but don't let it affect them. They know that everyone who has ever achieved something great has faced doubt from others. Instead of seeking approval, they stay focused on their vision. They don't need validation because they believe in themselves. Success requires extreme ownership. The 2% take full responsibility for their actions, their choices, and their results. They don't rely on luck or wait for someone to rescue them. They know that if they want a better life, it's up to them to create it. This is why they succeed while the 98% don't. The difference is not in talent, intelligence, or luck. It's in mindset and personal responsibility. The real question is, will you continue making excuses, or will you take control of your life and become part of the 2%? The power of persistence is what ultimately determines who succeeds and who does not. The 2% who achieve greatness are not always the smartest, the most talented, or the ones with the best resources. They are simply the ones who refuse to quit. They understand that setbacks, failures, and obstacles are part of the journey, but instead of giving up, they keep pushing forward. Meanwhile, the 98% give up too soon. They start with excitement, but the moment things get difficult, they quit. They let temporary failures define them, and as a result, they never reach their full potential. The truth about success is that it rarely comes easy. Many people believe that if something is meant for them, it should happen effortlessly. The 98% start chasing their dreams, but when they face resistance, they assume they are not capable, or that success isn't meant for them. They take failure as a sign to stop. The 2%, on the other hand, expect difficulties. They know that obstacles are just part of the process, and they refuse to let challenges break them. They have the mindset that as long as they keep going, success is inevitable. This persistence is what separates them from the rest. Failure is a natural part of any worthwhile journey. The 98% fear failure and do everything they can to avoid it. When they fail, they take it personally, as if it is proof that they are not good enough. They let one setback destroy their confidence and decide that it is safer to stop trying. But the 2% embrace failure as a necessary step towards success. They don't take failure as a reflection of their worth. They see it as feedback. When something doesn't work, they don't quit. They adjust, learn, and try again. Every failure teaches them a lesson, and they use those lessons to get better. Most people quit right before they are about to succeed. They put in effort, face challenges, and when they don't see immediate results, they stop. But what they don't realize is that success often comes right after the toughest moments. The 2% understand this, which is why they keep going when others stop. They know that every challenge they overcome brings them closer to their goal. They push through when things get tough because they trust that persistence always pays off in the end. Another reason why persistence is so powerful is that it builds resilience. The 98% let small setbacks discourage them, but the 2% develop mental toughness by facing and overcoming obstacles. Every time they push through a difficult situation, they become stronger. They train their minds to handle adversity, which makes them unstoppable. No matter what happens, they refuse to let temporary failures define their future. They believe that as long as they keep going, they will eventually succeed. Success is not about how fast you get there, it's about not stopping. Many people in the 98% compare themselves to others and feel discouraged if they don't see fast results. They see someone else succeeding and think, maybe I'm not meant for this. They let self-doubt creep in and decide to quit. The 2% don't focus on how long it takes, they focus on moving forward, one step at a time. They trust the process and know that persistence always wins in the end. Another key difference is that the 2% don't let emotions control their persistence. The 98% act based on how they feel. If they feel motivated, they work hard, but if they feel discouraged, they stop. This inconsistency is why they fail. The 2% are different. They show up every day no matter how they feel. They understand that persistence is not about emotions, it's about commitment. They push forward even when they are tired, frustrated, or uncertain. This ability to keep going despite emotions is why they eventually achieve success. One of the greatest strengths of the 2% is their ability to adapt. The 98% often quit because they try something once, and if it doesn't work, they assume it will never work. They don't realize that sometimes success requires adjustments, not quitting. The 2% don't keep doing the same thing if it's not working. They analyze, adjust, and try again. They are flexible and willing to change their approach, but they never abandon their goal. They understand that persistence is not just about trying the same thing over and over, it's about learning from mistakes and improving. The 98% often underestimate the power of patience. They want quick results, and if they don't get them, they lose motivation. But success is a long-term game. The 2% are willing to put in years of effort if that's what it takes. They don't expect instant rewards. They trust that their hard work will pay off over time. This patience, combined with persistence, is what allows them to achieve greatness. At the end of the day, the most successful people in the world are not those who had the easiest path. They are the ones who refused to give up. They kept pushing forward when others quit. They turned failures into lessons, setbacks into stepping stones, and difficulties into strength. This is what separates the 2% from the 98%. The question is, will you keep going, or will you quit like the majority? The answer to that question will determine whether you achieve your dreams or remain stuck in the cycle of starting and stopping. The choice is yours. The difference between the 2% who succeed and the 98% who don't is not luck, intelligence, or talent. It is mindset, discipline, responsibility, and persistence. The 2% understand that success is a result of consistent effort, unwavering focus, and the refusal to make excuses. They take full responsibility for their actions, knowing that no one else is responsible for their success or failure. They don't wait for the perfect time or ideal circumstances. They create opportunities and push forward despite obstacles. The 98% fail because they rely on motivation instead of discipline. They start strong but quit when things get difficult. They let fear, doubt, and external circumstances dictate their future. Instead of taking control, they blame their past, their environment, or bad luck. Meanwhile, the 2% persist where others give up. They understand that failure is part of the journey and use every setback as a lesson to grow stronger. At the end of the day, success belongs to those who refuse to quit. The question is, will you join the 98% who give up, or will you become part of the 2% who stay committed until they achieve their dreams? The choice is yours. Make it wisely.